But yeah, we can go ahead and get into it. He'll start
No
off
doubt.
where we start off. But my man Marcus Raney, man, good to
Man,
get you in here.
Aaron,
Uh,
pleasure to be here, my brother.
my guy. So you just got back from Cuba, man. How was it?
It was beautiful, man. The weather, I got a few shades darker.
Yeah,
Ate
yeah,
good, met
definitely.
the family. And it was cool too, on the appreciation tip, just seeing that and then coming back here, like they don't have this set up over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just taking
Yeah. I mean, that's
taking side of the little things.
all for sure, man. The times I went to the Dominican, another one of my friends is from the Dominican. I've been there 2 times, and when we went out in the country where his family is from and his wife's family, well, he's more from in the city, but his wife's family is from out in the country, and just to see how they live out there and stuff, it makes you appreciate things like crazy. And it wasn't like they were, like I'm saying, they're dirt poor, nothing like that, but like you said, just a different way, the things they have
Right.
access to, having to do so much on your own,
Yeah.
and just making it work, man. It was crazy. Some of the stuff I seen out there, man. It's crazy to go into a house. There they have Wi-Fi and all that, even deep in the country. And it
Right.
was crazy to go into a house that has like dirt floors but has Wi-Fi.
That's crazy. In a big screen.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then I stepped out back for a second. I think to try to catch a better signal on my phone or do something. I stepped out back of the house, and they got a washer and dryer out back. And I
Yeah.
heard them say that they didn't have running water at the house, that they had some kind of system with a tank on the roof and this and that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, so how y'all got a washer and dryer? Like, how's it powered? This and that. I look beside it. They got like big like car truck batteries on the side.
Yeah.
It's wired to that. I'm
They
like,
make it
man,
happen.
the ingenuity, man, and just all that, man. It was real cool for me to see. I went and got my hair cut in a spot.
Yeah.
Same way, barbershop, everything in the shop is powered by car batteries, truck batteries, the clippers, the fans,
Man.
keeping it cool in there. It was cool to see, man. It was real cool to see. But I know you was down there eating good. You just said a minute ago you were. And
All
that
the food,
Hispanic
man.
food is my favorite by far.
I ate too good.
Yeah.
Too good. But everything over there is really fresh.
And
So you
clean,
can see that
yeah.
everything from the ocean just caught that day, or the animal probably just got taken out that day. You know, my wife is vegan, so she liked the veggies over there, but I had to eat good. I had
Got
to
you.
eat
Yeah.
good.
I kind of was gonna ask you that at one point, like before we met up at your Flex and Chill spot, but I had seen you post some stuff about plant based and this and
Yeah.
that. But then sometimes then I started seeing other posts about you eating meat and stuff like that too. I went back and forth with it. For the most part, I have always eaten meat, and for me, I just feel better.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I mean, I love a lot of different meals or courses that are based around eating meat as your main course and stuff like that. And I've done a ton of research on it too, because I had a crazy time with like digestion and food irritating me and stuff like that. Went through a crazy spell, and from what I've seen and a lot of the research that I went through and just listening to a bunch of different scientists, nutritionists, everything, it's like trying to get clean stuff and good quality protein, good quality meat sources, stuff like that, is that from what I've seen, it's like it's just as good, if not sometimes better. And the one thing I don't like about the vegan thing, and maybe you could speak more to this, or maybe even your wife, because I'm definitely gonna bring her on.
Right.
But is that you have to supplement. So like I don't know if you have to for sure vegan, but I think you do, right?
Nah,
I know
not
vegetarian
necessarily.
vegetarians have to do B12 and something else.
It's recommended because you have to eat mass quantities or more than you would if you're vegan. You gotta, like plants, you just gotta eat a lot of it, and a lot of times it's hard to eat that much. So I was vegan for about 8-9 months, and I didn't mind it, man. It was cool. I really I was exposed to it through Jess. We watched a few documentaries, and I saw, you know what, let me make some changes. So I could go weeks without eating meat, or I might go a couple of days. I might, do some meat, but not every meal I don't have meat. And before, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, all incorporated some type of meat product.
Right.
So now to just kind of get a little more diversity, understand how I can make better choices, because I definitely recommend, if you are eating that, eat quality, organic if you can, but step up
Grass-fed
your
and all
green game. And that's why I'm drinking these waters, man. The main thing is drink good water. You could do the supplements, everything like that. That's amazing. But that foundation is water. So that's why being over Cuba, like that's another thing. Like people were saying we were there for vacation, but necessarily we weren't. We were looking at real estate. We're establishing a clean water program over there, because the only clean water source they could have is if they boil it, or if they go to a church, like, so they take bottles and bottles and bottles. So it's like, man, like if you can't drink water from the tap, that's not acceptable, man. Like
Right,
in
right.
today's society,
For sure.
like for that to be taking place, like, nah, man. If we can make a change, let's make a change.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad to hear that you guys are trying to do something about it or get involved with it, man, because that's something that it seems to be something that more people are talking about in a lot of different places now, and how there are I've seen a lot of people trying to help. I see stuff like Akon, Wyclef, a lot of different people doing stuff where they're trying to build as many wells in different places as they can. And then even that stuff, I heard something about Detroit the other day, that Detroit is still going through stuff and still has a bunch of places where their tap water is basically poison, man.
Jaden Smith went up there.
Yeah,
and he did a clean water thing, because once the news, the hype dies down, you think it's over, but really people are still dealing with that. And if people within the states are struggling with clean water, you can only imagine in another country.
Oh,
you know?
for sure, man, for sure. But also, I want to get into it and ask you. You just went on Justin, our last guest on here. Him and his brother came on here last time. You just went on his podcast web
Justin,
show.
my guy, that's my
session.
brother.
Yeah, he's cool as a fan, ain't he? I really appreciated talking to him and getting to know him, and I've been in contact off and on with him since then. Just kind of work out in with his brother the other day, and they're just good people, man. Good people that are doing the right things and that are hustlers, man, and getting after it. And I love all the stuff he's trying to put out, all the positive stuff, and trying to tell dads that they can stay in shape and trying to get himself back in shape along the way, and like really giving an example more than just talking it, you know what I mean, and showing them things like that. But how'd that episode go and stuff, man? What'd you think?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, Justin's amazing, his vision, his whole team, like, to see, what he's representing. That's the type of people you want to build with. That's why we're here right now, man. Energy attracts energy. So if we can build each other up, put on for the city, like, that's amazing. But the fact that it's on health, wellness, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, just building and collabing, man, that's the energy. That's the energy. That's why we had to make it happen. No matter if I'm in another country yesterday or wherever, I told you we were gonna make it happen. So we did.
For sure. I appreciate you like crazy. It worked. I feel like it worked out perfect, man. We had to go jump through some hoops to get here, but it is what it is, man. Now I'm glad we made it work, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But also, so for me to give my guests and my listeners, my listeners an idea of who you are, because a lot of people may listen to this or turn it on and have no idea off the bat. I'm going to give a little bit. You tell me what I'm missing, because I feel like you do so much, man, and I see so much, and I'm like, man, I don't even know if I know the half. And even just to hear about you want to do stuff with the wells and this and that, or the water, I should say. But all those type of things make that more clear to me, that maybe there's a lot more I don't know. But for the listeners, pro baseball player,
overseas, man. I'm a free agent within the States right now.
Okay.
I got to work out with the Rangers August.
Okay.
So going to tear that up, man.
So
staying ready on that end. So health practitioner. So
right.
Athlete specific as well. In training, nutrition, wellness, or literally everything I'm showing my athletes is something that I'm applying for myself. So everything I'm telling them has been tested and proven through myself and the client. So I'm never the one to be like, try it out. I want to know first how it works. So,
okay.
Yeah, man. So everything I'm applying to myself, I can apply it to my clients, my athletes, everybody.
That's real dope, man. Because I heard somebody say that the other day, and I was thinking like, yeah, I mean, everybody learns and picks up a lot of their information or knowledge from other sources, of course, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how we gain stuff and learn stuff. But I heard somebody saying when it comes to trainers and building muscle and your health and stuff, that a lot of times certain people want to hear from somebody that's actually practiced it, somebody that's actually put it to work and tried it on themselves or had it work for themselves, because that's when they really listen and they really see it in you. So I mean, I'm sure they appreciate that from you. But also, you even competed in bodybuilding.
Oh yeah, so I did the Arnold a couple years. That was the transition, because even though I'm playing overseas internationally, I played college football, and there was a time period where I was out of ball. I had a few concussions, or not a few, I had 5 concussions. I was trying to figure out life. LeBron James, he had a quote that said, "More than an athlete," and it really inspired me to see, like, what do I love besides just playing ball? Because growing up in California, I had a bat in my hand. I'm hitting oranges off the orange tree since I was 2. So if that's all you're trying to figure it out. So then I was like, you know what? Let me jump into this health and wellness room. Let me try this out. Then I saw what it did for my body. I'm like, man, if I could do it like this. Me and my brother Brandon O'Shoden, he has Authentic Fitness now. They're based out of Dayton, Ohio. Their gym, and they do some training at training grounds as well. So shout out to Training Grounds, Eddie, because that really was a big inspiration for the Flex and Chill spot.
Okay.
So hey, yeah, so everything coming together, man.
Gotcha. And so, and like, of course, one of the main reasons you're on here, and most of all, the entrepreneurship, man, that I see in you and everything, and also doing the Advocare stuff and the training and all that. That's the kind of guest I bring on here. What I really want to show people, which I'm sure you've seen, is like showing people how everyday people are doing it and where people are coming from, growing up in areas just like I did or the listeners did, and are really just chasing after their dreams, man, and trying to make it happen. So that if that gives everybody a little good idea, we can get into everything else too. I hope that's a good explanation of who you are and what you're doing nowadays.
Just out here to inspire, man. And become the best version of myself every single day. That's what I got a reminder on my phone every single day around noon Eastern time, wherever it is in the world. It's like every day and every way I'm getting better and better, wiser and wiser, abundant, just like blessed upon blessed, speaking life into things.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I see you doing. So that goes right into my next point, which was exactly that. A lot of what I think this will be a really good episode for a lot of people that follow you and a lot of your friends, family, and just people who know you from social, things like that, because I see that you push that the same way that I do, the same way that me and my guy Josh, that you said you know as well, Josh Waters, we talked about it in our first podcast, getting into saying how we never want to be the one that's on our social media platforms pushing a negative vibe, you know what I mean? Or putting people in a woe is me type of situation or a thought process. And so I see you always upbeat, always telling people, let's get it, make it happen, get that sweat in, work hard, go after what your dreams are, things like that, a lot of that type of vibe. But I think this will be good because this is where people are now going to really get to know you and really get to hear more about who you are, your story, and what kind of where you come from and what other avenues mean something to you and things like that. So I think it'll be interesting for a lot of people to get to know you a little better.
Man, I appreciate the opportunity, man.
So let's get right into that then. Talk to me about where you grew up, starting from early age as a kid, where you grew up first, how you ended up here, what kind of parents, siblings, things like that.
Okay. Mother from the Philippines, man. She came here when she was 17 with my older sister, man, learning to speak English. So seeing her, where she came from, and to take her to the Philippines at the end of this year, man, just celebrate and meet family I never met now. So that'd be my first time going there. But that's where my mom is from. She came Columbus, Ohio. Pops, he grew up Chillicothe, Ohio, Masseyville. That's a small town down south. So they met. My dad's a musician. California, of course, that's where you go.
Right.
So that's where I was conceived, man. So California, that's where I was born. Wasn't even 5 years old, and then moved to Columbus. That's where family was, and then that's where I grew up, man. It's always been home. Strawberry Farms, right by Easton. That's been my spot. Went to Westville North, man. So Columbus is home.
Okay.
Columbus is home. Like.
Okay, and how at Westerville North, what sports and stuff were you into there?
Track, football, baseball. My senior year was just strictly track and football. I dealt with some injuries with baseball. That's what kind of postponed the baseball career to right now. Just dealing with some injuries and shoulder issues. I was actually labeled disabled, man. Like, this arm didn't work for a whole year. Like, I made a tackle, bop, like nerve damage. And I was like, man, like, what do you do? You know what I mean? But you learn to bounce back, man. You never let it just hold you down. So that academics wasn't my thing in high school, but it became my thing in college. So my vision, the only way I was really going to go to school is through athletics.
Okay.
Because I didn't take it seriously enough, to get an academic scholarship.
As many of us didn't, man, at that age.
So it was a blessing to get that scholarship through football, which was a secondary sport. So, yeah, man.
Gotcha. So where'd you end up going to college at?
West Liberty University in Wheeling, West Virginia, right next to Pittsburgh, really, like a half an hour up on the hill. So I played there 3 years, and I ended up graduating at Ohio Dominican. So I had spring ball with the Ohio Dominican football team, everything. But actually, my senior year of school was my first year not being an athlete. And that's when I actually developed the business plan of the Flex and Chill spot. So this been I was probably
years in the making.
22 at the time. Now I'm 27. So it's just back then I saw it, but I didn't know exactly what it looked like, but it felt right. So,
yeah. Oh, it's a dope spot, man. It's a real dope spot. And since we bring it up so much already, let's let people know a little bit about it. I went up there the other day. That's where we first met, and after we connected online, and I was amazed with it, man. I really was, because
Thank you.
like I said, the vibe up there, and what you can see, what you guys are trying to do up there, and I think there's energy in the building, man, because all the entrepreneurship and the people that are about the right things, and chasing the dream, chasing money, people in there now chasing fitness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all that vibe where it's just it's everybody kind of feeding off each other.
Creators connecting and
Yeah,
collaborating. That's
yeah.
what it is. Like, I don't want someone to think it's even a gym when you go in there, but you can get that sweat in, and we can play some ping pong, and we could throw some shots as well. You know, it's like, or you can, set up a photo shoot for your business, photographers, anybody. And we really want to teach entrepreneurship by not sitting you down and telling you in a class, but immersing you in it. Like, what's that in the background? What's going on here? What's going on here? And just show you the inner workings of how to produce your own business, but also provide a space where we can commune, connect, build something good for the community. Put people on whose passion is to, pursue their health and wellness goals, or pursue this, or build a brand. I just want everybody there to collab, associate, because there's so much you can learn from just one individual. Everybody you meet, you could take something from, like a positive experience you could take from it.
For sure.
So that's why it's important. Every relationship, that it's important to bring good people together.
Yeah. And that, like I said, that's exactly what it seems like you're doing. Where was the connection that you or who did you initially know that set you on that path to be involved with that property there, and Lamp Apparel, and now even with the Beast Apparel?
Oh yeah, so
Mr.
man,
Beast.
my good friend, my partner with the Flex and Chill spot, Brandon Foods Cheatham. So man, the collaboration, it was just organic, man. That the night we met, it was funny. I went out there, it was just good vibes, man. Like, just going out there, and random things happen. You give off a good energy. Other people go off good energy. The connection is made. Then just like how we connected, man.
Right,
Then
right.
like-minded. We can build on this. We can build on that. You surround yourself with people who feed the vision. So I would say there are so many people involved in the creation of right now, but going forward too.
Gotcha. So how long have you known him now? How long you guys been?
Shoot, probably 4.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, him and OG, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickle.
OG Pickle, man.
Yeah,
So those are my guys. But no, so I'm rocking this right here, the Beast gear. So Mr. Beast, man, that's a line that I've been rocking with and modeling for some young cats doing their thing all over the world, killing the social media game and the YouTube game and the gamers world, all that, and doing good stuff for the community. So everybody that I represent, like even Lamp, like it's home. We rock together, we build together. It's putting on for the city. The shirt. I respect what people are doing. That's why I'm here, man. Like anytime I show up somewhere, I want it to represent the team, because it takes a team for you to do anything.
Right.
It got to take that will, but it's collabing, connecting, locking arms, and building.
Yeah, and with the Flex and Chill spot and everything else you're doing, I mean, that's clear to see exactly what's going on. It's really clear to see. But so with the Mr. Beast and all that, they're really booming online and the YouTube thing and stuff like that. Is that just somebody that your guys with Lamp or Pick or somebody has just done business with, or somebody that they're actually friends with, or what's the situation with them? Do they just know each other, or?
Oh, it's connections, business relationships.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And with the Lamp Apparel, what exactly does it stand for, or does it?
Lamp, according to Brandon Foods Cheatham, he said that, well, it takes place in California, lamping. Like he was out there for some other business, and that's where the name came from. So he said it was, lamping's kicking back.
Okay.
And then, I got that vibe. Lamping is really, super, super chilling. So the Flex and Chill is like that good balance. You need to put in that work. You need to grind. Like I was saying, got in at midnight, had a few invoices. Midnight here is still 9 p.m. in Cali. So it's like, hey, what you doing? Well, you don't sleep on it, So I was getting to that, hit a workout, all that. So that's flexing. But I consider this, chilling. But it's masterminding. Chilling doesn't have to be just kicking it, doing nothing, but it's building, envisioning, collabing, just over a conversation.
Yeah.
So that's important. You just with a workout, you got to have rest period, proper rest period, but then you got to go get it. So I just believe like it encompasses the balance of life, that yin and yang.
Yeah, it makes so much sense, because it seems like what I've seen in a lot of people who are doing really well in business or entrepreneurship or a lot of different ventures is that for them to, like, their downtime, like you said, isn't just downtime. It isn't just sitting around doing nothing. Like even in downtime, whether it be going out to a nightclub, whether it's doing a podcast or something, whether it's like you said, getting a workout in.
Yeah.
Everything's like double time. You know what I mean? To get that workout in with somebody else and talk and make connections and make plans while they're doing that. Go out on a nightlife scene and sit there and make connections with people and talk business and stuff. So it's good to see that other avenue and people learn that you can do both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like chilling and kicking it doesn't have to be just being lazy, getting nothing done.
Yeah, man. And nothing against like, playing 2K, but like that could be chilling all day, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about conducive chilling. You know what I mean? But honestly, if you're a gamer getting paid off of playing video games, make that money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll never knock anybody's hustle, and that's what I love. Seeing that you married, man. Seeing my wife and I, that's my queen. Like we rock together. Seeing Brandon and his wife, and my other boy Brandon and his wife, like Olivia. So it's just like to see these like married couples doing it together, locking arms. It shows like the power. I mean, you see like Jay-Z, Beyonce. You see like the power when you can see a clear vision in your partner and you support one another and uplift one another, and to vibe with other couples like that, you get energy because you can see, oh, that's how you have that balance between, family, business, life. Because when your wife is your business partner as well, you need that good balance.
For sure.
That good balance in everything.
I've said it on here and we've talked about it a lot. We talked about it in Josh's episode and talked a little bit about it in the last episode, and it's just a common theme that's something that I saw in the biggest way too. Is like, so my wife had a business long before I ever even had a clue of anything that I was going to do, and it was a major motivation to me, and even just to see her go through things and just watch it at times was a lot. Like it taught me so much.
What type of business?
She does custom shoes. Shoes. So all the stuff you see over there, you know what I mean? She uses some of the area down here for stores and stuff as well too. And
that's beautiful.
Yeah, she's been doing the custom shoes for a while.
I know Jay work love that.
Yeah. We did his show last year.
Dope.
Yeah, she got a table up there and we did the show up there. It was real cool, yeah. But yeah, and that's my guy too. But and we talked a lot about it with him. But what it really made me think of what you saying all that is the crazy thing to me was when I first got married and first started wearing my ring, it just started making me notice it more on other people. It started making me notice when they were wearing the ring. And it was weird that I felt like anytime I started noticing and catching it over and over and over, like when I was seeing somebody successful, it was like 90% of the time, if not like 98, 90% of the time, you see them talk, you see them do something with their hands, and they got a ring on their finger.
Shoot, my business mentors, even the ones who I met in person, some who I just been studying, like from Grant Cardone, we haven't even met, but I see him and his lady rocking it, man. Like you gotta have, man. It feels so good to know that you gonna throw up the oop and it's gonna come down with a slam dunk, or she gonna be throwing oops to you, and that's how. I mean, marriage teaches you how to be better in every other relationship as well.
For sure.
Communication, patience, everything. Because you grow one another. So, man, to be able to vibe off that and then be in understanding with your brothers, too, and just be able to vibe and build, and it's great, man.
Yeah. It's so powerful on your motivation. And if you get down on something or you get stuck on something, they can come at you and either boost you back up or throw you some help and
different perspective.
Yeah, and so many people don't have that if they're single or if they just don't have the right person and things like that. And it's not saying that somebody's single. There's plenty of people single that are out there getting it for sure too.
Right.
But it's just it definitely is a huge help and a huge impact on your life when you have that second motor with you, basically. Yeah, added motor. But since we're talking about it, we might as well get into that. So I was trying to figure out if I heard this right, or I was trying to figure out if I heard this right. And when I was like telling my wife and thinking about it, I'm like, man, maybe, yeah, no, something. So we was at the Flex and Chill spot. You said that you did the Arnold, she did the Arnold. That's how you guys met, right?
Yeah, well, we met through my mutual friend, Brandon O'Sheldon.
Okay.
He was training me for the Arnold. That was my prep. So I was like, you know what? Like, we're going to do this natural. We got our health and fitness business rolling. Like, let's do it. It's in our backyard. It's in Columbus. It's like, hey, good exposure is good exposure, and then do that transformation and show what you can achieve just by natural eating, using quality foods, your vitamins, your protein, you know what I mean? Like, so doing that. Yeah, so we met. They actually met previously in Miami. She was out there running it up with competitions. She had her clothing boutique going on, and she was getting ready for another competition, and he helped her out with a couple aspects on how to get tighter before the next competition.
Okay.
It's through IG. So he comes back to Miami. He's like, hey man, I met this really cool girl. I think you should, hey, what's up? Like, see what's up with her. I'm like, man, like, I just, so at the time, man, my vision, I was in the military for about 6 months. I got accepted to the officer program,
Okay.
OCS with the Navy.
Okay.
So that's the route I was gonna go. I was looking 20 years. I thought it was an honor because I got my grades together. So I thought it was a solid path, and I think anybody that goes that path, it's a beautiful thing. So I had in the delayed entry program, you could opt out up until a certain time. So I was going to the DSCC building, everything like that, and I started falling in love with the training business over that 6-month period. And it started taking off, started flourishing. The Arnold was coming up. So I explained to my officer what was going on. Essentially it was like, I think you'll be successful in any route you go, man. Like, what feels right? So I took the opportunity. Now, even though I may not be in the military now I'm creating workout programs and doing speeches and seminars with the military. So it's like we still rocking together, but just doing it earlier, sooner, where I thought, this was going to be 20 years down the road.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I stopped that, picked up clients. I was trying to get the business together, trying to learn how to, thrive in the fitness industry. And, so that's how it happened. You know what I mean? I was just trying to figure out. So when you presented, the idea of hollering at Jess, I was like, you know what? I don't know, man. I didn't even know what she looked like or anything like that. I was like, man, we focus, we grinding. Let's focus. Like,
right.
Because I was at a point in my life where I couldn't have zero distractions. And I believe, like, if you're out there searching for a relationship, just stop and just search for yourself. Find yourself, and you're going to find that other one. You're going to find the one to that perfect match. And when I say perfect, it's going to take work. It's going to take building. It's going to take consistent communication, everyday reps. You can't rely on the raps that you did, years ago. Every day bringing it, every day being consistent with your love, man. So we met LA Fitness off Hamilton Road.
Okay.
So I was getting ready. I was in the sauna, sweating it out. She popped in. I was like, who's that, B? He's like, man, that's Jess. I was like, oh, man. All right, cool. Mad good vibes, everything. She did her competition, killed it, got top 5. I didn't, it was all good. She got this big old trophy. So we're kicking it through this week. And the Longenbergers, if you know.
The baskets?
Yeah. So Columbus based, amazing. Claire and Tammy, like they were friends of ours and clients of ours. They were heading out to Aruba. They're like, you know what? Come out to Aruba with us. We want to celebrate the Arnold. We want to celebrate y'all. We just want to be together. Perfect. They met Jess during that time. They're like, bring Jess too. All right. She cancels her plans. They go to California. She has, photo shoots lined up. She postpones them, make sure it's all squared away on business. Takes the flight with us. 3rd day in Aruba, married, bro. Come back. I was living in my parents' basement 4 years ago, man. So she was, she was getting her business off the ground. So we were just like, I saw her hustle. I saw her vision. I saw where she was going. And I was at the time of just finding what I love, finding my passions. And it was like, we were both running, and it was just like running together. And then we were like, oh, let's lock arms. Let's run it.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
So how long?
4 years, man.
No, but how long are we talking? You guys knew each other?
7 days, bro. 1 week. My parents, oh my God. I just met my father-in-law in Cuba, 4 years later.
Oh, just now?
For the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it was big, not only for business, but for the fam.
Gotcha. I think it's what you were about to say, but what did your parents think of this?
Man, they're like, this boy crazy. Like, because they're like, when he first, like, you gave up this solid career going in as an officer, in the military.
Stable longevity, all that type of
stable longevity.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean you're not doing that? What do you mean you're going to start up, in the health and fitness business? What are you going to train in a basement? Like, what? Like, Hoover Dam? Like, what are you doing, Marcus? So they're trying, I'm like, don't worry, it's going to be, like, I'm figuring it out. Right. You know what I mean? But that's why you always got to believe in your vision and know that's always going to be good. It may look a little blurry, but, like, it starts to come together. Just keep on moving forward and repping it out, and going towards that good vibe. But it's going to take that leap factor, man. You're gonna have so many people telling you not to do it, or you're not gonna be successful, or you're getting too old to play pro ball. I'm still in my 20s, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been told that, young, but everything is like used for fuel. Like, it's like, oh, you're gonna play ball overseas and you haven't played since you were 13. What? It don't make sense. Like, and that was when Jay-Z said his uncle was like, the million records, million times.
Yep.
His uncle really, I guess he couldn't fathom that and kind of shot it down, but he knew, like, it was too big for him at that time. So you always got to believe in your own vision and keep them reps going no matter what.
Yeah, I love that you keep saying that too, because that makes so much sense to me as well. Like you saying, keep the reps going with how you love your wife. Keep the reps going with how you go after your goals and your business and stuff like that. Keep the reps off of just trying to get better at everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of people kind of learn sometimes too late in life or a little bit later in life, that maybe they could pick up from this or from someone like you that has the success that you've had, is that, man, just keep at it. Just keep hitting up those reps, man, and everything, in your relationships, in your work ethic and everything, because that consistency has been the clearest thing to me in the few things that I've been successful with in my life. Has been the key, the consistency. Reps day after day, day after day, day after day. Even with the workout and with the fitness thing, like I didn't notice as much results until I decided, like, I'm gonna do this every day. I'm not gonna listen to people say you need these days off and these splits and overtraining and this and that, whatever. And it's like I just figured out what works for my body, what works for each individual person. And that's something too, don't get me wrong. A lot of things that we've talked about, a lot of things we've mentioned already, there's always case by case and things that work for different people. But I think consistency is king in a lot of ways, man.
Man, I'm reading this book. Man, I've been just a couple books to check out. The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Chop Wood, Carry Water. Shoot, Josh Waters, check out my man. You know what I mean? Just those have been books that I've been reading consistently. Was another book, Awakening.
Okay.
Let me think. There's been a few. I keep it on rotation, from audiobooks to reading it, man. But just staying in tune with it. Staying in tune, bro.
Have you always been a reader? Has that been something, or is that something you picked up recently?
Not at all. Like reading was not something I ever did.
It's never been my thing either, man. I'm a more visual and audio type person. That's still a lot of what I do now. And I dabble with reading. I read Josh's for sure. I read his twice because I was like, man, I really like the information that's in there. It's short. I had to run through it again, and I've read a couple other small things, but I'm not a big reader a lot of times. And I recently downloaded a couple of audio books and kind of trying to do the thing that way, just because it seems to be more my vibe. But I mean, that's the thing I like too about like these podcasts and a lot of ways that information is getting distributed now, is because it's a lot more accessible. And so it's like you can basically listen to a book on your way to work every day, or while you're traveling and taking flights, or while you're working out, you know what I mean? And do that same kind of thing like we were talking about, of doubling up on what you're getting done.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. And that's why I like this, and why I always try to tell people when I post some of my episodes, like, man, turn us on in your car, turn us on during a workout, turn us on while you're sitting there at your desk all day, and listen to it like you would the radio. Because that was something I noticed too, is like a lot of people that want more for themselves, or want, whether it be in business or for their family, or just to make some changes, or want to get out of their job, or whatever the case is, they a lot of times will sit around at that job every day, listening to music, listening to the radio.
Right.
It's not, at that same time, you can be listening to podcasts, not even from me, or like the guests that I bring on, and like someone like you and the other people that I brought on are dropping gems for sure. Yeah. But also listening to whoever is someone that is like the place that they want to reach, you know what I mean? Or in the field that they're after. And you can sit there and listen to that, or listen to these books on entrepreneurship, business, whatever lane that you're looking for, while you're at work.
Right.
And listen to that. Listen to it while you're on your drive. And a lot of people are picking up on that now with the podcast. I think some people still just use it as entertainment and want to listen to ones that make them laugh stuff. That's cool too. Maybe it's not their thing, but it's just a good avenue. And I'm glad that it's out here and that it's becoming more and more popular, where I feel like it's opening things up for people. And that's what I hope this does. And I know that from some of the stuff that has been said by previous guests, and even some of the little stuff you're saying now, and that we'll get into more, is things that are really just going to help people and springboard them and give them, hey, how about I try to go that route that they went? So, but let's get into some other things as well too that I was thinking about. Man, so when I met you over at the Flex and Chill spot,
right,
and we was getting ready to get a workout and stuff in, and we started moving around, getting the weights together on it. I'm like, man, this dude's legs are huge, man. And so the reason I say that is because you probably know that it's not that common. Most of the time, you come across people with real big upper bodies, and they struggle to get legs. You know what I mean? And so it made me want to ask you, like, what's the secret for you?
For the legs?
I know there's no magic pill on anything. Everything's hard work.
Okay.
But what's some of the things that like that's information like I named the podcast. Aaron wants to know. So some of the stuff Aaron wants to know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you tell me what would you do to really blow up them legs, or do you think it's been consistently? What you tell me?
I ain't gonna tell you the secret, bro. No, so nah, I got you. Man, eating good, man. Quality. And when I say eating good, I don't mean eating good like at Thanksgiving. I'm talking about eating quality foods, man. I always had pretty solid legs, man.
Okay.
Like I was that chubby kid where my mom was like, he's not chubby, he's just husky, but I was chubby.
Gotcha.
You
So
know
it's
what
a
I mean?
little genetic.
Yeah, but I was able to turn that into muscle, like functional. And I mean, hitting those legs, man. Hitting those legs. Don't sleep on them because it's going to help you grow in every other area. So when we did the Arnold, like, it was a 3-month prep before my first Arnold. Most people do, like, have been training their whole lives, you know, or something like that. Like, they're a long period of time. So
Right.
to enhance the results, we're like, hey, we got to double up on these legs. You know, we need to break down the muscle. We need to, you know, it's just, it helps you build in all different areas. When you
Yeah,
hit your
because it
legs,
boosts the testosterone.
Yeah.
Does a lot of different things.
and it actually tightens up those abs. I didn't even do a lot of abs for the Arnold. Like, I know I can do more, but in the sense when you're hitting legs, it helps you shred up that core even more too.
Right.
So that's your good foundation, man. You walking on it, you know, keeping that solid core, but not sleeping on it. Yeah, not sleeping on the legs, man.
Yeah. I mean, and I think a lot of people do, and it's because they're hard, man. It's
Yeah.
because hard, like, and it makes perfect sense of why you say that it does so much for your core. Because when you do leg workouts, it's like, yeah, it hits you everywhere. Like you feel like you do some hard leg workouts or some heavy leg some heavy weight.
Yeah.
It taxes you. It taxes you.
Or just them reps, man.
Yeah.
Like so Jess came from a beast of a trainer down Pro Body Tech down in Miami.
Okay.
His name is Sam. He's 50 something, but dude has like 5% body fat. Crazy shredded. He was the first IFBB Pro Classic. He trained Jess. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna come down, like, you kind of big unk to Jess.
Right.
Let me go through a workout with you. Killed me, bro. Like,
Really?
and that's why you got to be around like people who've been doing it and experienced and wisdom, because you learn so much. You think you're good, then you realize you can always do more.
Right.
You think you're great, when you say like the success,
Somebody
it's
humbles
like,
you.
yeah, man, there's so much more to do and that needs to be done. So it's only the beginning, man. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation on a private jet, bro, or on a yacht, and not
Right,
even
right.
saying the material thing, but I'm excited for what the growth is gonna.
Right. Yeah. You just have that ambition, man, and I don't take it like exactly what you said, man. I don't take it that way anyway. It doesn't come off to me that way from you that you're like chasing material things or anything. It more comes off to me as you're chasing happiness, and because you so much want to involve other people and make so many connections and things like that,
Yeah.
and help other people, bring up other people with you, see who else, you know what I mean, and just your attitude towards everything shows me that you're not just chasing the money and trying to do it on that materialistic
you,
level,
man.
man.
Yeah.
I think a blind man can see it for real, man. It's really like that. But so the other things I wanted to get to is stuff. Still going on the fitness thing. What did it teach you, you think, along the way, as far as like, what are the things that helped you with outside of the look and building the muscle? And what do you think that fitness, for like it has for a lot of people, do you feel like it also helped you and trained your mind in other ways and helped you either mentally, emotionally, and with things as well?
Yeah, man, just doing what it takes, staying the consistency aspect, you know, because whatever you're eating on like an Arnold prep, not even say you got to do an Arnold, but just being disciplined in certain areas. Like you said, intermittent fasting, like that was something I never thought of, but then you realize the control aspect of how powerful your brain is. You know, you like in the Bible it talks about you don't survive by just food alone, but the word of God. So it's like, you know what? It's like that strength right there. You know what? Just discipline. That's what I learned from it. That fitness aspect, like discipline in this area, just like the physical in your, and when it comes to working out, health, fitness, just like in your business, you know what I mean? Just that discipline, the consistent reps, and knowing that the workout that you did yesterday don't count for today.
For sure. I mean,
That's what I learned.
yeah, it felt like it was like the exact same thing to me. Like you said, it's like it taught me a lot of discipline. I was someone who, leading up to getting into working out, I was in a lot of ways lazy, for real. I mean, I'm dead serious. I'll be as honest as can be. It's like I was always fairly lean. I was always really skinny. So it wasn't really a huge motivation to me until I got a little bit older. And then I was like, oh, I really want to put on the muscle. I feel like a kid still, man. I want to look like a man. You know what I mean? I want to build up a little bit. So it wasn't more so like a lot of people have to get into it because they struggle with weight or things like that. And But it was just weird. I tell people all the time now. I even told my nephew when I was talking to him not too long ago, as I was telling him, like, trying to talk him into getting into it and stuff, because he's kind of at that age. He's going from middle school to high school soon. And I was like, man, the sooner you can get into it, the better, man. And it's nothing but positives that come from it.
Right.
And I told him, I was like, it's crazy how when you get on a consistent workout schedule or like doing something hard, working out consistently, anything else that's hard that someone asks you to do all of a sudden doesn't seem so hard.
Yeah.
And that was what really hit me, is because it was like, so like right after I got real hardcore into it and started putting on a little bit of size, stuff like that, I had like 2-3 friends hit me up, ask me to move, help them move. And you know how that is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you normally when somebody hit you up, you're like, oh man, like you're talking about a day of just.
That's moving, bro.
Yeah.
That's love. If you show and help somebody move, that we fam. Yeah. Hey, but speaking of being consistent, bro, you had a major pump, man. Like when we worked out, like you popped the top. I was like, I see you been working, because much respect, man, from a chubby kid adding like to switching into muscle to being a skinnier kid. Like that's hard work, because a lot of people think it's easier, but it's not, man. Like everybody got their own journey.
For sure, man. And I don't think it's easier in either direction. Like I still, don't get me wrong, I still as a smaller dude sometimes lean towards like, man, it might be a little bit easier. You know what I mean? I always have that in the back of my head, like it might be a little bit easier for somebody that's already got a little bit of weight to put on some size. But then the more I see it stuff now, man, it's like, it's just like you said, everybody has their own journey, and I don't think there's nothing easy about it. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that's easy is once you get going, that momentum. That momentum that comes along with it is where it gets easier, because you get so many benefits from working out that it makes you want to keep going, keep doing it, stay at it, keep pushing. But yeah, I appreciate the compliment for sure.
Man,
and
no doubt.
I
real recognize real. So
I
I saw
appreciate
that
it, man.
I mean, that wasn't just something that happened overnight. You know, you could tell that you've been. It was just to consistency, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly.
But I could almost say it may be harder, you know, to add on muscle, because you just got to eat so much. Like when you're ectomorph and your metabolism is burning so quick.
Yeah,
you know,
it was exactly how I ended up
you
in
gotta feed the kid.
Yeah, it was exactly how what played a part in me getting sick is because. So I took in so much information online from people saying just eat big, eat as much as you can, dirty bulking type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it just played a part in me getting sick, because it was like just I ended up having to take some antibiotics for like a dental procedure, and I had just been eating like it was my job. Like I've talked about on here, and I'm sure the people that listen consistently like, oh, he talks it to death. But I was even to the point, man, where I was waking up anytime I would wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or just. You know what I mean, hear a noise, whatever, something like that, I would bang a little protein shake or something, because I was just trying so hard to put on that weight or put on that muscle, and struggling with it because I had to take in crazy amount of calories, being somebody who runs through it and burns through it so easily, that I just started taking in anything and everything, too much junk. And so it was like the combination of what I was eating mixed with how the antibiotics wrecked my system, and it just crushed me. And still to this day, I can't really eat normal. Like there's a lot of things that I still can't tolerate. It's and this happened probably 6-7 years ago, and it's been a battle, right? And it made it a little bit harder, and that way I will say that with no remorse or feeling like I'm boosting myself up. It was harder to go through that and do it. I don't know if I'll specifically say it was so much harder coming from being skinny. It was to try to pull in all that food and try to figure it out along the way. Looking back, I wish I would have thought about it a little bit more common sense. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might be able to add some pounds, but what are you really going to be adding with bad foods? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can get some calories now and then, but I was just taking in so much bad. It was like it
wreck you, man. Like whatever you consume, you become. Whatever you eat, it's gonna show. Whatever you listen to, it's gonna show. Whatever you watch, it's gonna show. So that's why we gotta be real conscious of like everything we're consuming.
That's another thing I'm so glad you say on here, because I've talked a lot to people about that too. So like, even some people can't separate themselves from their entertainment, you know what I mean? From the music they listen to, the movies they watch, the things like that, and understand like that's entertainment. That's not the way to live your life, or you know what I mean? And like, not to say that, that's why I say separate yourself from, because it's not saying like, oh, you shouldn't listen to music that says this, you shouldn't watch movies that do this or whatever. But like you said, be careful with what you consume and the amounts of it. because if you consume so much on a regular basis, that's giving you a negative vibe. Yeah, that's exactly what you become. That's why I love that you're always so upbeat and so positive with the things you say, because I think that just fuels you and fuels the people around you.
Yeah, that vibration, like speaking it. Like I don't even use the C word. You remember? I don't use the CANT. Yeah, man. So it's just like that vibration.
It's funny that you say that, man. I tell my daughter all the time. It's to the point where when she says it, or even if she hears somebody else say it, my daughter will say, "Daddy, they say can't.
Yeah.
They say can't. We're not supposed to say can't."
That's a cuss word.
Yeah.
That's a cuss.
She says that to me all the time now, and I'm glad. Like, and it's hard sometimes when she's really trying to tell me something like either that somebody else said or I can't remember or something like that, to where it's like, okay, I get what you're saying there. I kind of want to give you a break or whatever. But I always just tell her,
don't hit those push-ups.
Push-ups. I always just tell her. I say instead of saying can't, just say you need help.
Yeah.
Say you need some help, or you need some assistance figuring this out, or opening this, or lifting this, or trying this. It's not that you can't. You just need a little help. You need a little boost. You need a little information.
Man, that's good though. But like how you conveyed that, like that's great communication, because now she won't be scared to ask for help. Like you say with the nutrition, like you really didn't ask for help. You kind of sought it out for yourself. Like for me, academics, I never asked for help. I just tried to figure it out. I'm like, damn, why am I not understanding this? Shit, I need to get a tutor and ask for help, but I just didn't, But then I learned that along the way, it's okay to ask for help, because when you ask for help, people see that you're wanting to do better. And if you're willing to do better, people want to help you. You just attract that. Because they see that you're making an effort. You know what I mean? More like if you hitchhiking, you're going to probably get picked up. I never hitchhike, but you're probably gonna get picked up if you actually trying to like make a progress, make some progress.
Right.
You know what I mean?
As opposed to standing there. Got you. Yeah, but I like that you said that, because I didn't really think about that with my daughter, but I'm really glad that you say that, because it makes me feel like, okay, that definitely is something that maybe I didn't catch along the way, or like you said, you didn't, or something.
I didn't ask for help, man. I tried to figure it out. I was like, I'm an athlete. I eat whatever I want.
Right.
That's what I thought until 21. Like crazy.
Gotcha.
Imagine if I would have known that at 15. Then I teach the 15-year-olds that, and they looking like they 21.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because they got the understanding now.
I've been seeing it, man. I've been seeing it. I randomly work out at the Crunch. I work out at both Crunch Fitness, is the one out here out west, and then the one out east from time to time when I go from work. And man, I've seen some big young dudes out there, man. Some big young dudes, and a couple of them with like school football stuff on and things like that, man. And they look like if they wanted to, they could stop what they're doing right now and compete in the Arnold and stuff. And I'm like, man, these are kids, which is crazy. Like they're really getting after it, man. I love seeing that.
I like the movement going on in the U.S. and the world.
Yeah.
I think that health movement is cool now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Where it's like you're a nerd and neon in the headband.
The neon with the headband. Yeah. It's not like, I mean, much respect to Tybo, because he know his thing, but you weren't going to catch me doing Tybo. But now I rock with some. But like, it's just cool to see how everything is coming together, and how I believe the world is, I mean, I guess you got two different perspectives, but I believe the world is getting better. And I see people connecting. I see like being in Cuba and seeing it, like riding in a 1957 Chevy, like it was dope. But I'm like, man, this produced a lot of emissions. So to see people are coming up with solar panels and, electric resources and, do like clean water programs, and like just, I see things getting better, and social media, everything's bringing everybody closer and connecting. Like these podcasts, you gonna reach somebody who you maybe never would have reached before, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so it's cool. Like
we already have, man.
Yeah, how your story, your voice can impact a lot of people. So hey, what you doing, bro, is amazing.
I appreciate it. That was something that was real cool that I heard when I first started doing this. Is I heard somebody else say, like, one of the things that really just gave them that springboard or whatever when they first started going, was they did their podcast, and like right off the bat, they had somebody contact them from Australia saying like, oh yeah, just listen to that. And this was somebody who just put out something small, just audio, and just didn't really think nothing of it at the beginning, and just had somebody hit them right off the bat like that, and they were just like, man, like it was so much fuel to them. And it's something that's so cool. And I can't agree with you more on I think things are getting better. I know it's hard, and we talked about that before on this podcast. I know it's hard for people in bad situations to feel like that, and living and coming up in places that things are really tough. But I like what you said, that the social media thing is bringing people together. I think because people see how much people argue about politics and things like that on there, that they kind of get a different vibe, or they think that they feel like they see so much of that, they see so much of the negative that they think that's where we're headed, and they think that's where it's going.
I mean, if you watch the news 24/7, I mean, that's what you'll think.
That's
You know,
where it
that's
comes into
definitely
play,
what,
the stuff you were
you
saying
know.
about what you consume.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I have a lot of talks with people all the time, friends, family, and tell them, like, you got to unfollow certain things. You got to stop arguing with certain people online. You got to stop watching certain news stations, this and that, because you can find the information that you're looking for without all the fluff. And you can also take a day to decide, like, what's really important. What am I really doing here? Like, am I arguing with somebody online about J-Work got into that when he was on here and got in, like, that's not what this was meant for. That's not what this social media was meant for. It was meant to make connections. That's exactly what it was meant to do and be about. You know what I mean? And then people are using it just to get on there and argue or stand with their team, you know what I mean? And try to go at other people's neck. And I see it in a different light, man. I see that everything, all the research, everything, philosophers, man, psychologists, they all say that we naturally latch on to the negative as humans, you know what I mean? And we see that more, and it's based out of like fear.
Fear, man.
Yeah, it's based out of fear and just an evolution of trying to figure out what you should be afraid of and what's danger.
Yeah.
So we pay attention to that stuff so that we know, but at the same time, with the things we have nowadays, not really being danger in a lot of ways, but being something that we fear or something that fires us up, you know what I mean, and gets that going in our system, then we pay too much attention to it at times. And I always try to tell people, like, it's not as bad as it seems. It's really not. It's really not. Like, when I grew up as a kid, my mom gave me a book really early on called It Could Be Worse.
Okay.
And it's stuck with me hard, man. It's been some over the years that I really stick with, and I think that it's something that holds true in so many situations.
Right.
I've been around so many people and been blessed enough to meet so many people in my life that have had it crazy bad and turned it around, or turning around in the process while I know them. And it's like, it could always be worse. It could always be tougher, man. Yeah. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of that just now in Cuba.
Man, what I see, like, when I see something, I'm like, you know what? It could always be better. You know, that's why I love seeing and hearing people's vision and goals, because just like myself, I've already put myself in that place, like, in my mind. I already see it, or everything, you know, that you want to accomplish, seeing you there, you know. And I think that's what we should do, you know, see the best for our brothers and sisters. Like, envision them where you want them to be. If you see somebody who may have qualities that you want them to change, love up on them and be the light and show the way. Like, I just think it's important that we pray and bless others, you know, then more so than we're just so focused on the prayers and blessings of ourselves, because we giving that out, it's gonna come right back.
That's something I've learned a lot lately too, man. That's something I've learned a lot, that it's just like, it's almost like just automatic when you start doing things for other people, that it just, you don't even have to look for it to come. It comes before you can even think of it, or like sometimes as soon as you extend that hand to somebody else, something else is coming your way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that thought process as well too. And what was I just getting ready to say, man? There's something else that was making me think of, and I lost track. But let's get back to some other things with the entrepreneurship and the business and everything, so we don't get too much off of trying to
It's
provide.
all good, man. We vibing.
Oh yeah,
You
for
said,
sure. But
hey, I love how it's going.
Yeah, I do too. But I like, a lot of times I want to get back on track. And
no doubt.
Well, and I'm not saying that we aren't, or that we are, that you are, or anything like that. What I'm saying is, like, I like to try to, after I listen to some of my episodes after the fact, I'm always like, man, is there places where I can get back on and plug in more entrepreneurship, like little tidbits and facts for people that can get them going. So it kind of brings me back to that sometimes. But so now, what's your main source of income now? What is your main
Man, I
stream?
I got a good amount of different hustles, brother.
Oh, that's,
yeah. I mean,
if you want to talk about it, man.
From modeling, you know, I was just in New York for a photo shoot with Monster. It was a video shoot in Times Square. Our nutritional business, you know what I mean? So from health supplements to everything, from online coaching to personal training, to the formation of the Flex and Chill spot. I got multiple cars throughout the U.S. that I rent out as well.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, man. Just because I'm not super familiar with that, and I've heard people mention that, and you even mentioned to me when we were trying to schedule last week before, whatever. And I've heard a lot of people say that, and I think it's like, it's a great idea, especially for someone who travels as much as you guys do.
Yeah, because
So
we don't really have a home location. Like really everywhere we're at, that's home right now.
gotcha. So you guys do a lot of Airbnbs and stuff as far as where you stay as
Airbnbs,
well?
like if we're doing events with resorts or anything, man. If a business partner is like, hey, can you come out give a speech to our team or do an event for this, or yeah, man, like racking up them rewards. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's been
I was
good.
gonna ask you about that too. I
Yeah.
was like, as much as you guys travel, are you guys always trying to make something work to where you?
Cash back,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Robert Kiyosaki, Think and Grow Rich. It was just like utilizing, being smarter with the money, man. Like that. Just I want to teach more financial literacy as well because I saw what that has done for my life, but also like just like what the health and wellness has done for my life, just like personal development has done for my life. Anything that I feel like has benefited myself, I realize that we are all human and maybe a piece of what I share could help somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Is Kiyosaki? Is that the same dude that did Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah, yeah. What did I say?
Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, my bad. That's Napoleon Hill. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My bad.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the
okay.
one. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My apologies.
Gotcha. I just asked because
Yeah.
I just came across some YouTube videos with him recently, and it's him doing something with a younger girl that he says is like either a business partner or a friend of his daughter, that they are doing like little interviews and talking about money and talking about ways that people that are young in college and just coming out of college and stuff can handle their money differently and be better about it. And he was saying some real cool stuff. And it was the first time that I heard somebody talk about like how so many of us look at debt negatively, and that he looks at it as that debt is king. Like that's how he does everything is he is paying on something, but he's also renting it out or something along those lines to having it getting paid off for him.
Yeah.
And he has all these properties, and he said he has like at any given time like $500 million in debt with all his properties and stuff like that. And I was just like,
But how much is that paying him every month? you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It was
yeah.
mind blowing to me because I had never thought about it that way. I've always been somebody that's anti-debt. And then when I heard what he was saying, the way he was explaining it, and he was like saying as far as like calling something, whether it be an asset, calling it an asset or a liability, and kind of mapping out why he thinks like a house or a car or something like that could be an asset or liability.
Yeah.
And even talking to the younger people about their student loans and different things. And it was really interesting. So anybody that is interested in hearing that, go check that out for sure. Because that was really surprising to me. And have you either listened to or read most of Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I did. My bad. I had this brassica. I was banging. You were talking about that intermittent fasting, bro.
Yeah.
I ate good, man. I ate good. When I break that fast, I break that fast.
That's what I do too,
Yeah.
man. And the first time it was hard for me. It kind of felt like it either backed me up or it had me feeling rough for a minute because I was like, the first time I did a pretty long intermittent fast, when I got done, I just went in, like you said, like I just went in,
bro.
And
Yeah.
I right after that, I started looking on online and stuff, saying like, are you supposed to do it or how are you supposed to break a
Yeah.
fast? And they were saying like, ease your way into it with like some fruit, some soup, some this
Yeah.
and that. And I'm just like, nah, I went straight to like steak, this,
Steak.
that.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
getting it in. But and now that I've done it a little bit, it seems like I kind of can. Like I can go in right off the bat, and it just took some adjustment on my body. But we might as well talk about that while we're on it. So what kind of benefits and how often how often do you do the intermittent fasting now? And what kind of benefits and things have you seen from it?
Man, I do it periodically. So right now, as a free agent, my international season technically wouldn't start until September, October. So photo shoots, the Flex and Chill spot, online training, the nutrition, the supplementation, just connecting, collabing, investments, all that. Like that's the focus right now. Just everything, just staying ready. So since I could get a call from Monster, or there could be maybe a Nike shoot that like I worked with them. It was 2 years ago for the Run Detroit campaign, and it was just staying ready. And if I wasn't ready in the physique, if I didn't have the physique I had, I wouldn't have got the opportunity. So it's always just staying right. And just like anything, it's like if it's a fitness shoot or something like for a fashion joint and they're looking for, somebody who's shredded up, nice pack, everything like that. If somebody got lower body fat percentage than me or, tighter abs or something, they deserve that shoot.
Right.
So it's always being on your P's and Q's. While I was in Australia, I had a casting call for ASICs. I didn't get that shoot. You know what I mean? And in my head, I was like, when I submitted the photos, I just didn't want to feel like that again. I was like, you know what? I got a solid package, but honestly, if you could do better, do better. You know what I mean? If you could take it to another level, take it to another level. and that's only going to open up more opportunities for you. So it's better to just stay ready and be prepared for opportunities and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be ready for it.
Gotcha. So that fasting stuff just keeps you lean.
Can be tight, mentally disciplined.
Right. Yeah. The mental clarity is what a lot of people talk about and say is like a big thing for them. That mental clarity is something that a lot of people notice the benefits right off the bat. And then I've heard people talking about just skipping breakfast. A lot of people are losing like a pound a week or something like that just by doing that. And there's so many other things like uptakes of different hormones and things, testosterone, different stuff, all in your system, things that get balanced out. The autophagy thing that we talked about on the last podcast, where it's like once you hit past like 16, 18 hours, old cells start actually feeding on damaged cells and cleaning up things in your body, and it's a good way to prevent disease and stuff like that. So, I mean, I can't say anything bad about it so far. I was really one that shied away from it at first because me being so slim and being somebody who always felt like I had to take in a lot of food and I would burn through it so fast, I always thought like, what good is that going to do someone like me to avoid eating or avoid calories, things like that? Right. And it's crazy that I've noticed muscle increase. I've noticed for sure at the bare minimum of times that I'm doing a lot, that I at least stay where I'm at. I'm not losing anything by doing it at all. And I was somebody, like you said, your mind, man, in the way you tell yourself things before, had always told myself like, yeah, that's not for me. That's never going to be for me. That's something that would do me damage, you know what I mean? Or take me backwards. And it's funny when I talk to people about it, there's a lot of people that talk to me like that. People that are slim or people that are looking to put on muscle or, just are somebody that's always hungry or oh, there's no way. That's what they tell me. There's no way I can't go that long without eating. And I'm like, you can because everybody, because I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people are doing it. Yeah. And a lot of people that just like me thought that they couldn't are doing it and seeing the benefits from it.
Because sometimes we do things so compulsively. We get a little hungry, then we go get it. And then, or it's just like if we're always compulsive in everything we do, then we're living on a reaction, instead of responding. So it's like, you know what? Let me set the tone.
Yeah, and I think that's something that in a lot of ways probably could keep people away from indulging in drugs and alcohol and things like that. You know what I mean? And overdoing it, because like you said, I think that's kind of what you're hinting at, right? You know what I mean? If you're so compulsive in so many avenues, it's probably going to be across the board. It's going to invade your life.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say that you said a minute ago that I really liked too was you were talking about you just kind of got into it just off of wanting to be better. And that's something that is real big with me. I'm always like, man, how can I be better every day? And I've held on to big a guy, David Goggins. I don't know if you're familiar
Goggins, man, that dude's a beast.
Savage, man. It's so crazy to see somebody like that, man. But when he says do something difficult every day, and that's something that I try to do, and I've tried to tell other people too. It's like, do something. And in my workouts and stuff, I'm like, one more rep or a few seconds less rest or no rest or whatever, like just anything in my day that I can plug in where I can just give myself that extra boost of like, I did something difficult today. And just that accomplishment that it gives you. Something that I picked up on a while ago too was a quote that said, accomplishment is the best antidepressant. And then it was funny, I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was talking about that. She was talking about how just like, whether it be doing something around your house, whether it be something in a business or at your job or whatever, getting something done, just mowing the grass or doing something like that and seeing it look nice afterwards, like that feeling that you get, you know what I mean? It's something you're working on and you finish it and you look at it, like that accomplishment is antidepressant. It really boosts you and makes you feel better. So anytime in your day that you can maybe accomplish something that you didn't yesterday, that one more rep, that no rest, that I told people park a little bit farther in the parking lot, you know what I mean? And walk, just do something in your day, pick up something and read something that you normally wouldn't, take in a little bit more information. And that's something that when you said all that about being better and that's why you like the fast and stuff, it really made me latch on to that. But you also, when you mentioned the stuff about the doing stuff for their brands and being ready, so what's the biggest thing or just something cool that the people may want to hear, like your favorite thing that you've done with like a brand or a bigger brand or something where you guys, because that thing that I seen the other day that I think you mentioned with Times Square was pretty cool. You guys had the helmets on and all that. Like,
I mean, I definitely think that was dope. I mean, out the gates, man, it was definitely the Nike shoot. To see a billboard, bro, of yourself it's just something. What, Nike? I was like, what is like how it just came together, and it was just off of good relationships. My guy Andre O'Neal, he played in NFL. He's a model, but and a heart surgeon. I'm like, what? You know, it's
That's
yeah, and
crazy.
acting. So he did some stuff with Tyler Perry's TV shows and everything. He spoke life into me because I was at the gym and I was getting ready, and he was like, I think I was getting ready for. I was learning how to swim, bro, because I was in the Navy, man. And my swim game was mad weak. So I was in there trying to get the laps in, and I came back and he was like, man, you got a good look, man. Like, you ever thought about modeling? I was like, nah. And so it's crazy when people speak life into you and see where that can come from. And he was like, hey, man, there's a prominent shoe company that I think you should submit for. So I had some photos, some awesome photographers I've worked with throughout the city, Miss J Photography and Autumn Dalton. We did some amazing work together. Man, our city's so talented, isn't it, bro?
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I literally like the people
Al Battle or Al, my guy. Yeah. We got Luis in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
there's so many people that I keep coming across. I feel like my guests for this podcast are going to be unlimited, man. It's going to just keep coming because there's always young people coming up too. But yeah, so that was the one that you really felt like was the clues. I mean, that makes so much sense.
That was dope, and then it just led to wanting to be around that energy. You saw like, okay, all right, all you got to do is just show up, and if you don't show up, the opportunity won't be there, you know. And then Jess holds it down. So when I heard that I got invited to the second call, you know, so it's like you submit photos. That's how it usually works in the modeling game, acting game. You either do like a snippet, because Jess did commercials down in Miami and Cali too. So it's just like you submit the work, you do your headshots, everything like that, and then from there it's like, you know, let's see if we want to invite you to the in-person. But the in-person was in Detroit. At the time, we were living in Columbus. So I had clients, everything, like business started going well. And so Jess, she's like, I got you. Like, don't worry. Like, go ahead, handle that. You know, I think you could do it. You know, so a lady that has your back like that, just go ahead and do it. I'll hold it down. All right, bet. You know, so you could go there like free will with a clear mind, knowing that it's yours. So when I went there, I was like, I got this. There was probably like 100 people there. And then they called me back and they're like, hey, you got the shoot, you know. So I mean, that was like one of my larger paying shoots for sure. And then that content, and if you still go in the Detroit store now, it's up there. The billboard's not anymore, but I mean, it was the experience, man. But then it was just like, all right, show up. If there's something, submit for it. If there's hey, like, if it's out there, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, the modeling thing is cool,
Yeah.
man. I did a real small amount of it. I had kind of similar situation, man. I had a guy approach me, my guy Dame Dash, or I said Dame Dash,
Dame
Chef.
Dash? Okay.
Dame Chef that I've got pretty cool with since then, and is a real good dude, man. He just approached me one day, and it's funny that he approached me at Macy's at Eastland. He was I think,
Eastland, man, back in the Eastland.
Yeah, and he was just shopping for doing stuff because he was I'm drawing a blank on the word, but like when you dress people.
Yeah. Like
stylist.
Okay.
He was doing stylist work. He was there picking out stuff or whatever. But he just had kind of seen me in there. I was shopping for some stuff, and he's like, hey man, not on the weird stuff, this and that, whatever, but have you ever thought about modeling, this and that?
So I was like, hey, it's not to be weird.
Yeah,
but you look good, bro.
right. Which is cool. I mean, which is the way I think you want to approach it. So somebody's like, hold on, man, what you do? But he said that to me, man. We got to talking. He also asked me, like, right off the bat, he was like, man, you kind of look like you play ball. You play ball? And he had played ball before and stuff too, or still does a little bit. And we got to chopping up, and he got me involved in a lot of different things. And the funny thing why I say it was trippy that it happened at Macy's, because then I ended up doing something for Macy's. And that was kind of the thing to me that was really cool for the longest time. Like, one of my bigger things that felt really good was just to do something with Macy's, because, you know what I mean, when you do something with one of those bigger brands, it just feels more official. You feel better about what you're doing, that, like, you know what I mean, you're not just out here doing stuff that may seem like you're doing something where you're not really, or whatever. But it was cool. Right. And then even the stuff that me and Luisha did for Puma, that was something that was super cool. Like,
oh man, I gotta see that. I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, you had to
check it out.
Yeah, you had to check it out on my page. I only posted a little bit of stuff because I was like, I'm gonna post some more, use the content, spread it out a little bit, post some more down the road, whatever. And I just haven't got back to it, slacking. But he posted a decent amount of it, and it was a cool situation all the way around, because they had him shooting with a disposable camera.
Oh, damn.
which really was trippy because they were going for like this retro look vibe or whatever that a decent amount of
90s
people.
look.
Yeah, of course. And that's what it was based around, is that they were putting out a retro shoe and then a new version of it. So they wanted that retro look, that retro vibe for it. But it was cool, man. We were outside for a decent amount of it in the cold, and it was just a cool thing to do. And then to see them like tag us in a pic, you know what I mean, or like my pictures or something like that. It's weird that something like that nowadays that's big to somebody, you know what I mean? Like that's a new age way of like something that you really feel like you did something that was cool, you know what I mean, or was on a bigger level just to even get that. So I can't imagine with the stuff that you're doing, you know what I mean, what that feels like when you get something with Nike, something with like you said, with possibly trying to do something with ASIC, that a lot of your bigger
with Lamp, man, keep it in the city.
Yeah.
First modeling with them, because that's the first relationship. Was modeling the lines, and it was like, the Columbus, all that, and then it turned into painting vision. Well, hey, instead of modeling for other lines, why don't you have your own line? So the Flex and Chill spot, we also had the Flex and Chill line, which we still do during the, I believe, last year's Arnold, 2 years ago, back-to-back Arnolds, we competed, and just competed, I believe, 3 years in a row, and we had designed Ohio. In Ohio was like a 45-pound dumbbell.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like
I've seen people wear it.
During the Arnold, like, mad people loved it. Lamps right in that area where it's jumping right near the convention center, everything. So to see where it started there. So now going forward, now we got the Flex and Chill spot. It's like, new designs coming, everything forming, like new wear, but also always down to collaborate too. So.
Yeah. Whenever I see you posting stuff and doing stuff, man, I'm always like, yeah, he's got to start pushing the brand of his again, because I'm like, somebody, even when you're on there just preaching that sweat, man, I've seen you with some of that maybe
the
that's
sweatshirt, the sweat,
maybe that's something you guys did before or whatever, but I'm like, yeah, that's your thing, you know what I mean? And that's what it's crazy when I think of you, that's what I think, like, you know what I mean, he's always on there telling somebody, get that sweat in, you know what I mean? Make that sweat happen,
man.
But
it's good for you.
Yeah. That's something we talked about on here too, and I talked about it last time on the podcast. There's so many things that people don't know, something with that, and I hate to repeat myself for something we already said on there, but it's something that I want as many people to hear as possible. But they talked about it in a podcast I was listening to with a doctor, and she was saying that with rice is high in arsenic because it absorbs it in the air and soil and things like that. But they're saying, like, one of the only ways your body can push it out is through sweat. Like, you don't process it out through your digestive system that very much at all. That the main way you get it out of your system, and arsenic is a poison. So there's a lot of people that consume a ton of rice in their diet, especially somebody with any kind of Caribbean type diet, you know what I mean, or Hispanic,
Asian, anything. Actually, everybody
Asian,
they rice. Here we like our meat and potatoes, but still the starches. I mean, it opens up your pores. Your skin is the biggest detoxifier. So if anybody is dealing with like any skin irritations or something like that, usually your skin is the first thing to tell you, like, hey,
something's going on.
You know what I mean? Like, if your pores are clogged or something like that, that's probably too much saturated fat or something like that, or like it's cool how your body is a system. It's gonna let you know if something's going wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I tell a lot of people, even if you can just go get in a sauna, it's a great start for people. Go get in a sauna, get that sweat out, and see how much better it makes you feel. And it's funny you say even too about like the body kind of like letting you know. I was listening to a podcast today and they were talking about that, and they were saying even how like so when somebody gets an injury, and they want to ice it or take painkillers, they were talking about that the body's way of producing, I think it's like IGF-1 or something, that is the healing, like a healing hormone basically, that when you turn off the pain signals, whether it be through painkillers or numbing the area or whatever, that you tell the body there's no longer pain there, so it slows down or stops sending the healing hormones and healing effects to that part of the body. So the guy was talking about that he believes a lot more that you should do heat to it, and mainly for sure stay away from like the painkillers and the numbing and stuff like that if you can, because your body is going to do what it can to basically communicate with itself to say there's pain here, heal here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, focus on it.
And it was crazy for me to hear. I was like, something I would have never expected or think that it would be something that could be detrimental, you know what I mean, to just try to cope with the pain or put some cold on it or something to try to deal with inflammation and things like that. But I've heard a little bit around that too, that the cold could also slow down the blood flow and blood supply to that as well. That could hinder your healing as well too. Because a lot of people now, I'm noticing a ton of injuries, and then even with a situation with my grandma and a lot of other people that I was hearing about things online, like even like dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff, like there's more and more studies point to that being a blood flow issue, and that exercise is like one of the main things. Lack of exercise is what's bringing that on, because people aren't getting blood flow up to the brain.
I agree, man. Like a lot of times it's not, I always say this to clients, it maybe not be like, people say generational. Oh, it runs in my family. It runs in my family. It's usually not the genetics or what runs in the family or that or this. It's just the habits. So if you got the same habits as your parents who had high blood pressure and their parents had high blood pressure, then you're eating exactly the same way that they're eating, you know what I mean? But now you're eating at a younger age. So it's just like everything is passed on. So it's more so not genetics, but habitual.
Right.
Because the body's meant to heal itself. So if you give it what it needs, it's going to function properly.
That's what I thought was something that was so cool about all the fasting and all the information I was picking up from fasting, is because it was saying when you give yourself that break from digestion, your body can work on so many other things. And that's why you get the balancing out of hormones, you get the doing away with a lot of the damaged cells, all that type of thing going on, because you actually give your body the opportunity to focus on that instead of constantly trying to process all that food. I didn't know for the longest time till I'd heard it as well that I think digestion taxes like 85% of your energy, or 80% of your energy is used on digestion.
It take a lot. I know your body has to work a lot to process
and
foods,
especially like protein and
longer than others.
Fats, stuff like that, stuff that take longer to digest. So I mean, something like that, give you that little break and let your body do the healing. That's something that was really amazing to me. Like when I went through my struggles towards the end, there was so much of like just talking life into me getting better, which is something I've talked a bunch about on here, so I won't get back into that, but that's what it was, talking and saying that I'm getting better, but then also trying to do what I could to let things happen. Instead of, when I first got bad off, I kept trying to see what kind of supplement could I take, what kind of herb, what kind of this, what kind of everything, because I tried to go to doctors and do medications first, and that wasn't working. So then I tried to do my own thing with, like I said, supplements or herbs or this and that, and things helped along the way, don't get me wrong, especially some of the natural stuff. But once I got to the point where I was like, like one of the biggest things that helped me was going on a liquid diet for a while. Like I just took in like some smoothies and some like protein shakes or things like that, or like these like gelatin collagen drinks and things like that. And that stuff was crazy beneficial off just giving things a break. Man.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to switch up the routine. If you are eating meat with every single meal, try and like have a meal that is plant-based. You know what I mean? So I would say I'm not vegan, but I'm very highly plant-based, so I'm avid for it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's why I like that people recommend things and say things like that too, because you never know. You try it for a little while, and a lot of things are case by case, that it could be something that really makes somebody feel better than ever. Going vegan, going vegetarian. I don't know if you've seen it, but a bunch of people are even thriving off carnivore diet now. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Straight up carnivore. This one dude, Jordan Peterson, man, is so like there was the first guy.
Carnivore as in raw meat?
No.
Okay.
Just all meat.
Just all meat.
Like literally this dude's diet and a number of other people. If you look up like a hashtag or something, it will really trip you out, man.
Kind of doing like keto or something like
that? Yeah, that's a lot of what the benefits are based off of. A lot of.
I see it. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. I'm never gonna be like, don't do that.
The crazy thing is people are like turning around like horrible conditions and stuff with it. But some of the science is pointing at that it could just be off the fact that they're eliminating so much junk.
Yeah.
That could be what it is.
I'm always about better decisions, no matter what diet you're on. Or I'm never a fan of diets, but just healthier lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
So if you could start making healthier choices, you're gonna start seeing improvement. So one thing might work for someone else better, but as long as you're putting quality into your body, and you see I'm smashing this water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm taking down probably 1.5 gallons a day.
Yeah. I drink a ton of water too. I always try to slow it on here because I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to stop and pee during the podcast. So I'm always like, I gotta slow it down a little bit. But just something with you mentioning stuff about your clients and the training. Let's get into that, because that's something I'm sure people really want to hear about as well too. And that's something that I hope some trainers can pick up some good things from this. So when you were getting started with that, what was talk to me a little about what that's like and how you start developing those clients, and what were some of the real keys or game changers for you to really start making money off of it, or having getting the attention you were looking for. Any of the things that you think are important in that lane.
Social media promotion, utilize that free app. It's a free tool. Show people your lifestyle. Let them get to know you. Be organic and be real. Don't try and sell people on anything. Show them that you can help them get results, but show them that you are a product of the product first. So nobody can buy what you're selling if you're not buying it yourself.
Right.
Your life, and I'm talking about buying into that lifestyle. So that would be the main thing. Be a product of the product. Walk it like you talk it. Don't be the trainer that needs a trainer. And then from there, people are going to organically ask you anyway. So before I was actually making money, I had people coming to me like, can you help me out with this, help me out that. Then I started getting certifications and learning more, and taking more classes on it, and just being more engaged and understanding like how the body works, and foods from just the root of it, and just how certain diets may be better for certain parts of the world. You might be more of a Mediterranean diet, more, carnivore type diet, more plant-based. So just seeing what works, I was becoming more open-minded because I was learning more. So I would say learn more. Always, keep your head in a book. There's so much knowledge out there, and if you don't know it, you can always find it.
Right.
And then just going out there, adding value. So we used to do like free, we still do. We do like a lot of free boot camp events. Even our Flex and Chill events that we had them in Miami, Texas, California. We have them here, even in Australia. So Flex and Chill is just the Flex and Chill spot, just global, representing what we do, workout, yoga, maybe at the end, orange juice mimosas, but it's like a good networking event, community, local vendors, local chefs, supporting community, food drive, give clothes to the homeless after the end, just a good vibe, Flex and Chill, good music, got a DJ rocking it. Our guy DJ Genesis, he's based out of Miami. He's actually it's Miami University. Yeah, he's their DJ, man. He's been holding it down over there. So he does a lot of our events in Miami, but really adding value, like bringing community together. So if you could bring people together, that's going to lead to people who want to see you more on an intimate basis as maybe a private client. So maybe I don't do as much private training anymore, but I can still put people on for it. And that's what I really want the Flex and Chill spot to be, not a training spot, but a spot where someone with the passions to be in the health and wellness industry can grow. They can pursue their goals. They can have access to what they need to be successful.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And also you got into the Avocare scene, right? And
yeah,
did you get in it kind of seemed this way. You tell me if I'm wrong. Did you get into that through Brandon, through Authentic Fitness, or?
Yeah. He told me I started using the products first, and then I'm all about like whether Avocare or like other products that we use as well. So that's just one of the. I'm all about like a CBD company. Actually, Kershaw has a CBD line, so I'll rock with that. So now I wouldn't just say Avocare. There's a lot of quality other products that I've been using. There's another one called ID Life I've been rocking with. Just getting more on putting quality into my body, whether it's the supplement, from the water to the foods. Yeah.
Gotcha. So. Well, and I asked more about the Avocare as far as like your money making side of it.
Yeah, man.
So I seen him post something about you and just being like some top earners lately and this and that. And I'm thinking like that really blew my mind, because I'm like, I don't even see you guys pushing it hard. So it was like, but I also seen that he said he was kind of mentioning seeds planted and saying, you know what I mean? Like the work that you guys had already put in ahead of time to get where you're at. You know what I mean?
It was a lot of reps, man. Talking to a lot of people, helping a lot of people. You got to communicate yourself, So yeah, man, to see where it started 4 years ago, man, 4 years ago, rent was due, man, and we didn't have rent, So it was just like to see where it came through. But the thing was like, man, God, universe, whatever if people want to call it like that, it always works out. Because like no matter what, like when the rent was due, a client would like pick up a client, or a photo shoot came through. Like it always worked out. And I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, but shit, that's the way it was for me.
Right. It's been a lot of that for me too, man. And I think what it seems like, and don't get me wrong, I mean, a lot of people might think this is BS or whatever, but this is really what it has been the experience for me. So I speak from the experience the way that you said, I mean, all of us should, is that because of the type of vibes you're putting out, and because of the way that you try to help people, try to include people and stuff like that, then that's what you get in return. That's the things I was talking about, where it's like before you can even think or turn your head from helping somebody else, somebody's helping you, or something's coming to you that you're in need of. So I mean, it makes so much sense that you said that to me, coming from you, and the type of things and that you're about and the things that you preach to everybody.
No doubt. And making it part of your lifestyle. Like I never feel that I need to sell myself. Just be real, and people will vibe with you. Some may not, but as long as you come with the right energy, you're gonna attract the right ones.
Right. So a couple things before we get out of here towards the end that I really wanted to get into with just like personal things as well with you too. So is there any specific supplements or anything that you feel like really gave you a boost, or just ways of training or something like that like was like, man, this was this was my game changer. This was my...
Yeah. I would say introducing more fiber into my diet. That was key in stepping up my water intake. Those were things I was sleeping on that I didn't know. So that's the foundation. I would say adding in more greens. That's been key. But cutting out dairy and cheese. I know some people are fans of it, but it didn't set right with me. So dairy and cheese has been a game changer. I used to have a lot of heartburn, man. I used to really just go through it, but it's because I just smashed a Domino's pizza probably, you know what I mean? So it's not that you have acid reflux, you're just doing things that may cause that to happen.
Right.
That's how I feel. But, some people may say it's a medical issue, that's what it is. Seek your doctor. But I think that you can, make some healthy lifestyle changes and still, maybe go the opposite route of the medication. Yeah, I kind of got off the mic, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah. So that was key, man. Every day adding in, just every day doing something. Yeah.
I like it. Staying active. Yeah.
It don't got to be an hour workout. Don't got to be half an hour. Just, you did something.
That's something key I want to mention on here too, man, while I'm thinking of it. I listened to a little bit of a podcast with 3 doctors from the, I think it was from the Cleveland Clinic, I'm pretty sure. And it was just a short little thing that I listened to, and they were talking about the benefits of exercise. So I was real interested to hear it come straight from doctors. And they were saying that the stuff you hear about all the benefits as far as like hormones and different things that it does well in your body with 30 minutes of workout that a lot of doctors and things, sources like preach to people or tell people to get on, just get your 30 minutes of walking or jogging or this or that, whatever it is. They were saying also that 3 10-minute intervals gets the same research and the same outcomes and all the lab work and everything. So just if someone wants to spread out in 10 minutes.
10. That's why
3 different times in the day.
300-second workouts. That's what I've been posting. If you check out the
I was going to ask you about that too. With the 300, where the 300 came from.
So essentially, like the 300, like if you add it up, it's 5 minutes. But I like the 300-second aspect because 100 seconds of one movement, 100 seconds of another, 100 seconds of this one. So that way you're getting 3 different movements. And if you're running it up, you set that clock 100 seconds, bro. Run it. Do this one. Hop into the next movement. So it's really meant to fit into your lifestyle. But honestly, from a bodybuilder to professional athlete or a business owner who doesn't have a lot of time, like Fuchs Cheatham, like his days, meetings, this, that. So when we link and do something, it's quick, efficient, and that's the main thing.
Intensity.
Effective, and something that's going to help you build the foundation. And it's however hard you make it. So if it's easy in 100 seconds, you were playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if it was hard, it's because you did what you were supposed to do. So that's why I'm like, it's short, it's sweet, it's effective, it's minimal equipment. And that's what I wanted to provide, like knowledge, free game. Like this is what you could do real quick. Just knock out these push-ups.
Yeah.
So or do this or do the simple movements that you could do in a hotel. In like a hotel room, because like I said, we travel a lot. We're here, we're there. We might not have a gym. You know what I mean? But you got your body and you got space. You good.
That's why I love the park workouts that I do, man. It's something that I think a lot of people think they don't have the space or the time or the money for a gym membership. There's opportunity everywhere. There's opportunity everywhere to just get that sweat in, like you said.
Save them excuses and get that sweat.
My guy. But okay, so the last couple things that I wanted to ask you about as well too. So who kind of gave you some of your instruction on how to go about the social media thing? Was it self-taught, or did you kind of have some other your mentors or random people that you like kind of consulted and said like, hey, this is, let me give you some tips, let me give you some strategies, or did you figure it out on your own, or a little bit of both?
I mean, just watching, I say YouTube videos as well, and just social media marketing, looking, webinars, podcasts. My guy, Brandon O'Shoden, you know what I mean? He was really, he's been in the training game for a minute, so from learning from that, just seeing how to, consistently post, but with your post and post value, not just post to post, but just seeing how you do that, staying consistent with keeping people engaged. And then from there, it's like you see how other, social media influencers do it, from like the Logan Pauls that I model for, the Beast, that you just see that engage with your audience. Let them know that you really care, and you show them you care by providing quality content. That's what I said.
And value, like you said. Yeah. So, okay, that makes a ton of sense. So giving them something, you know what I mean? So they have a reason to come to you and a reason to look at your site or your page and to rock with you. Makes a ton of sense for sure. And then the last couple things. So somebody that's so up all the time, man, that's so positive and so giving off the positive vibe all the time, whatever. I feel like for most people, there's always times or things that get you down.
Man,
you know
keep it real, man.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we talk about Advocare, just to keep it all the way transparent. While I was in Cuba, so they
dropped a bomb, right?
Dropped a bomb. So, like, something that you're making over 6 figures with, on top of your other businesses, you're like, okay, you foresee it growing in everything you're doing. So when they made the structure of the change, now it's more so when you build a business, but now it's not actually paying you off of your business. So it's like the numbers have changed. So that can be like a bomb drop, but everything's perspective, man. Like if it's meant to happen that way, let it be. And if you're gonna win, you're gonna win. You know what I mean? And I see it's like it was just like, all right, cool, change is good. Change is necessary. Yeah. And if it is happening, it's cool, it's growth. I like getting out of my comfort zone. So Jess was on season 1 of Ballers on HBO. Okay. So she was like a feature extra, all that. And then she was on she got casted for the 2nd season. And really, basically, I got it because Jess, so shout out to Jess, thank you. But it wasn't even a major part. Like me, I wouldn't even dumb it down or anything like that, but just really me acting like I'm talking and The Rock walking by.
Okay.
But to be on the set with The Rock was dope, man.
Yeah, that's
like
so
not even
crazy.
Just to say what's up to it, what's up. Like, but you see how the energy of someone you perceive as successful. You see, like, yo, this isn't just him acting. This is his set. He directed this. He, you know what I mean, he funded it. You know what I mean? He put money in my pocket. So I'm just like, that's cool, man. I think just being around that energy and seeing how things work, like, it just grows. It has an impact on you, So when you see how things are done like that.
Man, just me seeing you and seeing how your mind goes and goes and goes. And I see, even as you're talking to me, explaining different things, and you just throwing little tidbits of something else that you're into or something else that you're working on or something that you have worked on and it's not, and just everywhere that you're going, man, I can just see that, like, it amazes me, man. It really does.
Thank you, bro.
Seriously, because you have so much going on, but you're still constantly looking for more, and like we said, it doesn't seem like it's for any of the wrong reasons as well. You know what I mean? Right. It just seems like you're getting after it and you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just feel like you're trying to bring to you what you want. You know what I mean? You're trying to put out the energy that's going to bring that back to you, and you're trying to help people that will in turn maybe have them help you and get you to where you want to be. And I think with the Flex and Chill spot, it encompasses all that. Like, that's exactly what it says. That's what it speaks. You walk in there and that's what it says. It says you. It says all those things about you. You know what I mean? That I just said, like, it gives off that vibe of that's what you mean. That's what you stand for.
Thank you, brother. And that's what I was saying. Even with the workouts, even though I feel maybe a gym isn't necessary, I want the energy to be so strong there that you just want to go there and vibe.
Gotcha.
Like, you don't got to touch a weight, but you just want to be up in there. But if you're in there, you might as well sweat.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So with what I was saying too, so what is your go-to thing when something does get at you or go get at you and kind of bring you down?
Man, just breathe. You know what I mean? Maybe a conversation with your wife doesn't go the best, or maybe a business plan doesn't go as you saw it, but really just like, man, what you tripping for? It's all good. Like, take it like a boss, take it on the chin and keep it rocking. You know what I mean? Because I could say that maybe times in my life I spent too much time dwelling on what shoulda, coulda, woulda, and that's wasting time. Just, if you don't like something about yourself right now, change it immediately. It don't have to be later. It doesn't have to, like, take action steps. As long as you're making baby steps, you winning. Like, never be so hard on yourself. So it's just like, hey, keep it moving. Like, if it's tough, I'll chop it up with my wife. She's going to give me a different perspective. Or sometimes I just need to go within, meditate. You know what I mean? So seeing, I know Lewis Howes, my man is big on meditating. So seeing
That's
you know,
another boom in the States and around the world, man, with
yeah,
the fitness
man.
thing is
Or,
meditation.
praying, breathing, yoga, do stress relieving activities.
And so many of those are based
Yeah.
around breathing.
I love baseball, man. So, I mean, I love football as well, but swinging that bat, bro, just working on the tee, I'm in my zone, like nothing else. You don't think about nothing else. You
Right.
ain't think about this business plan. You ain't think about this upcoming photo shoot. You're not, what did Jess say? You know what I mean? Like but at that present moment, it's free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's just
I
do the
know
things that make you,
1000%, man.
yeah, that workout, man, just in the zone, or, or having a conversation, man, that's uplifting. Like be around, if something's going on, be around those that's going to give you positive talk, not feed into the negativity. So when I see that my brother or sister is feeling down, I'm not going to be like, yeah, bro, yeah, this is going down. Like, nah, man, like, well, let's look at it this way. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you feeling like that, you ain't trying to hear it. You like, nah, man, nah.
I know you
want to fight it.
I can tell right now that you get that same kickback that I get when I hit people with that, where they're kind of like, I'm not trying to hear that right now. Let's not sit there and listen to my story but I can tell we have similar personalities, man. So we want to tell them like, hey, man, it's not that bad, or hey, maybe try this, or maybe it's going to lead to this, man, or to a girl or whoever it is in the situation.
Yeah. But everybody got to deal with it in their own way.
For sure, man. And I like too what you said is just like about. A lot of it's just about make a decision, man. Decide that you're going to take those baby steps. Decide that you're going to go a different route, and don't go the route of when things are down. I'm gonna go drink my sorrows away, or I'm gonna go.
I feel you, man. Not to interrupt. I remember, so when I transferred from West Liberty to Ohio Dominican, I was on the football team. Essentially, the scholarship offer that was presented wasn't what was promised. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Okay.
So it put my family in a bind, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't academics that was paid for school, it was football. So when I saw that, man, I actually dropped out of college for a minute. I was out for 6 months, man, like away from ball. I wasn't really rocking, seeing eye to eye with the fam, so my boys, they were staying over at the Olentangy Commons. So I moved out the crib. I was like, man, forget it, no ball, no school. Like, trying to figure out life. So before I know it, man, I'm sitting on the couch, man, smoking every day, getting skinny, you know what I mean? Surviving on protein shakes, like just trying to figure out. And I was at a low point, and I just, my boy Justin Bruin, he was my college roommate. We went to high school together. He was like, bro, what you doing? Like, he just had a real talk. And then at the time, I wasn't trying to hear it, but he's just like, you smoking all day, you chilling, you just here. Like, what you doing? Like, essentially get up off your ass. And I never had it like really brought to me like that from my boys, but I knew it was from a place of love. Like, bro, I know you could do better. So I appreciate that, man. Like, everybody in my life to where I'm at now has shaped me. So that's what I say, when people see me, I want them to see, I want to represent everyone who helped me along this path very well.
Yeah, it makes ton of sense, man. And I tell people all the time, like, I feel this way, and I feel a lot of people could benefit from taking this on. Don't get me wrong, everybody's their own person, but I always say, like, I want the people around me and the people that I'm close to be people that will call me on my shit.
Yeah.
I want the people around me to be the people that will say, Aaron, this ain't it, man.
Yeah.
Like, either the way you're being, the way you're talking, the way you're acting, the things you're doing, the laziness, the this, that, and the other, whatever. It's like that I want the people around me to tell me, because I want to be better than yesterday, because I want to do a little bit better. You know what I mean? I want to just be better whenever I can, and try to put out that vibe, but also be that for my daughter, be that for my wife, be that for my family, be that for my friends, so I can tell them when they're down. And even my guy Luis here, I mean, that's what he's been for me a lot of times. Like, he'll hit me up when I'm slacking, like, oh, what's going on? When's the next episode? When we doing the next episode?
And that's the thing, it's felt like you didn't even have to say what he's done, because I feel his energy right now. As soon as I walked in, I was like, man, it's love. And I already feel that, so it's just all of attraction.
Yeah,
so,
man. Yeah, and it's great to have good people around you. It makes a crazy difference. So before we get out of here, last thing, for people that just are thinking about getting something started, want to get something started, you know what I mean, sitting around at work, wherever it is, and thinking like, man, I really want to get into personal training, or I want to start my own business, or I want to start a clothing line, or I want to get into modeling, or I want to do this and that, whatever. What's just a bit of information, or a bit of something that you could give them, that's something that you think is going to kick them off on the right foot?
Just do it. And if you don't know how to do it, get around those who are doing it, and then learn and be open for correction, be open, you know, to correct your form. You know what I mean? If I never had people say, hey, squat like this, or, you know, the proper form is like that, then I don't know, where I might be in a wheelchair, who knows? But like, just be open to seeing how things are done, then put your twist on it. You know, it's not even reinventing the wheel, like follow the passion, but you could see, like, you could feel great vibes. You could be like, all right, I see all right, this individual's got great energy. You know, why are they happy? You know, it's not even like Pitbull had a podcast with Tony Robbins, and he was like, instead of Forbes list, you know, talking about the richest people or the wealthiest people, but the happiest people. And it's like, if you could be around genuinely happy people who are satisfied, and most people that you see are happy and satisfied are continuously progressing or learning and growing. So it's like, let me hear what you got to say. You know, even if you're working a job, that's not a bad thing, man. Like, there's a lot of people who work jobs that they love. You know, do that, man. Be a central part of that company. But if you feel like you want to do your own thing, do your own thing. Start watering it on the side. You know, if you're working the 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever you're doing, even if you only got an hour, hit that hour hard for your business. You know, do that. Create that LLC if you've been thinking about it. Go to the bank. You know, like, shake handshakes with the managers. You know what I mean? Like, go start making steps that are going to progress you forward. It doesn't have to be immediately, but just keep taking those steps. Like, plant that seed first and just think about it. Write down your goals, what you want it to become. You know, verbalize it, speak it. And as long as you're doing that and you're surrounding yourself and you're learning and applying what you're learning, hey, it's good. Because you're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to certain things. Like, but it just don't let them rough waters, you know, shake you too much. Know that it's all shaping you. It's all molding you.
The learning lessons.
Bro, there's a concept, man, that sticks to me to this day. And being out west, Potter's House? Mm-hmm. Bro,
there's one right here.
Right, that's the one. I used to go to that on a regular, man. Because funny, man, like, it's called CTL. It's like, back when I had that moment where I was like out of school, everything like that, I did construction, bro, working 90-hour weeks, bro, like climbing towers. I'm scared of heights. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, just for the money, just to save up to get back into school. But I realized you could put that work and put that into something you actually enjoy. Put that passion into something you enjoy. Put them hours and those reps into something that you actually enjoy. That's yours. You know, so hey, just keep doing it and doing it well and learning and making adjustments. And I take everything, like, from baseball, making adjustments. If the pitcher's throwing this way, your swing is going to be smooth. Your swing is going to be smooth. But if you're not in a position that's going to allow you to hit this pitch, put yourself in that position. Learn, even if you did K the first at bat, you can learn going into the second at bat, but just don't do the same thing. Make adjustments, learn as you go. Because if you stay complacent, then if you're not growing, you're dying. So make changes, man. It's cool. And then when you make them changes and it's working out for you, put your team on. You know what I mean? The community.
Yeah, and it's clear that that's exactly what you're about, man, is that growth and all that. Because to wrap this up, this is somebody that just told us that he couldn't swim, but he was going into the Navy. Afraid of heights, but he's climbing towers. Yeah. So if that ain't stepping out of your comfort zone.
If it's scary, you do it.
Yeah, if that ain't stepping out of your comfort zone and growth right there in the clearest form, man, I don't know what is, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on, man. We definitely will get Jess in here. Oh, Jess is
she the flex when it comes to the flexion.
She is, man. You know why I agree, man? Because the thing I think about with her whenever I see her,
that's
man.
Her right now. I'll call you back, baby. I'll call you back.
Because Jess always looks like she has a pump at all times.
Always.
At all times, her shoulders always look like she's
her
just
posture.
Yeah, like everything, man. She's on it, man. So I can't wait to get her on here too. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate this, man. This was a lot of fun.
Man, much love, my brother. I appreciate you.
I think it's definitely something we'll do again down the road and probably at your spot or somewhere.
Let's do it in another country on an island. Where you want to go, Louis? What's up, man? We go to Puerto Rico, bro. We go back.
Can definitely do that for sure. I'm ready to go back.
Yeah.
Cool, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, bro.